Do you have a small business and would like to sponsor Navigator Nine? Make sure to send us an email at navigator9podcast@gmail.com and we'll get back to you. We have different tiers starting at $50. It's either product placement or you can have your featured logo in the episode. So make sure to send us an email at navigator9podcast@gmail.com. Hello, everybody. It's Annika Lequint here, the host and creator of Navigator 9 podcast. Y'all, I have someone on with me today. I have Lequint. Hey,
Hey, good morning.
how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Y'all, I have Lequint on. This is my friend, okay? Y'all,
Yeah.
let's get into it. So, first and foremost, tell people about yourself.
Well, just a little bit about me. Born and raised in South Carolina. I actually am working right now with Francis Marion University. I went there approximately 2011, and I just kind of fell in love with the institution and just the way they conduct and do things. I was actually blessed with the opportunity to come back home after I retired out of the Army and do some work there. So I'm just consumed in that particular space in my life right now.
Okay. First and foremost, thank you for your service. So, thank you
Thank
for
you so
that.
much for your support.
Of course, of course. So, I saw that your book that you have like amazing things going on in your book. I researched this on Amazon, so y'all need to go check it out. Okay, go check it out.
Yes, please, please.
So I read a little bit about it, okay, and some things that I picked up on. So I said, let me just figure out what he think about when it comes to this book. So, you emphasize putting yourself in uncomfortable situations.
Yes.
What is the first intentional uncomfortable moment you created for yourself, and how did that change you?
Wow, it was so many. You said the first.
The first.
Well, we'll fast forward early because I've been doing this for a long time. I've been a grown man since I've been about 9 years old. So we'll start. I'll say approximately when my daughter was born. She was born when I was 22 years old, and that was the first time that I had to take care of somebody other than myself. And her birth ultimately led me to military service, and everything that you see today was actually because of the birth of my daughter. Because, like I said, the first time in my life, I had to take care of somebody else other than myself.
Right.
And she didn't ask to be here. So I tell her all the time, she's about to be 18 this year. As a matter of fact, next month. And I
Okay.
tell her, like, you changed everything. That was the most uncomfortable I ever found myself. So,
Mm.
due to her being born, I attribute all of my success. Everything meaningful I did has been in these 18 years that she's been here with us.
That's good. All right. So let's see what question I'm at now. Okay. All right. So you talk about survival mode being dangerous to growth. Can you explain a time in your life when you realized you had to shift from survival mode to your purpose?
So, oh my goodness, there's been times where I found myself, jumping from job to job, just trying to make it, just trying to find a way to survive. And what I learned that is when you're in survival mode, you'll pretty much take anything. You won't
Yes.
you won't navigate properly. You'll if a job is open, you won't think to ask why that job is open. Has the person
Come on.
that just left this position, did they go up? Did they leave out? Did they
Mhm.
leave for a better opportunity? You don't think about those things in survival mode. You say, God's blessed me with this job opening, not understanding there's a reason, some way, shape, form, and fashion why that position was open. And it's the
Right.
same way in life. You'll do that in relationships, you'll do that in friendships, you'll do that in every space you're in your life if you're operating in survival mode. And I was able to see firsthand when I retired. I got kind of bored sitting at home, sitting right in this
Hmm.
office, in my home office, sitting
Okay.
here for a year straight. And I kind of felt myself getting the itch to get back out there to, get back in the workforce. And I had several interviews. Like, I have multiple degrees, I have so much experience and everything. And this one interview, it was at a job in Florence, and it was like, you were perfect. They interviewed me several times. multiple different times with panels type interviews. It's like you was good, you was perfect. Whatever reason, I still didn't get the job. But had I been operating in
Right.
survival mode, I would have just jumped for anything. But I was blessed with an opportunity to actually volunteer because I wasn't hurting for finances. So I had an opportunity to volunteer, and it ushered me into this perfect position that I'm in today. So that's a full testimony of being able to operate on my terms versus survival mode, and I was able to get what I have today. So
Yeah. I understand that, like the survival mode, people don't really talk about that a lot. So
mhm.
survival mode makes you do things that you like just out of desperation, really.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
get money at the time or just
At
getting
the
a
time.
situation or an opportunity at the time, not realizing, wait a minute, I may not be happy after this. I may not really want to do this for the rest of my life. And a lot of wasted time happens during that. So I understand. I really do
Yeah.
understand that. So I read your other book as well. I briefly went over it. And your book, Define Your Goal, Define Your Purpose. Love the title, period.
Yes.
It highlights breaking big goals into small, attainable tasks. What's the major goal you achieved using that approach? And how did you do like little small steps in order to achieve those goals?
So I'll break down the last two major accomplishments that I've received. While I was active duty, I decided to go back to school, get my master's, right?
Right.
Knowing that I wasn't going to use my master's in the military whatsoever, I still knew that I always have this saying that you're going to spend more time out than you are in the military. So what you need to do is you need to start making that approach, that whether it's, jump both feet in or just one step at a time to solidifying yourself once you're out of the military. So working a full-time job, being active duty, I decided to go back to school. Everybody around me like, why would you do that? I'm
Mm,
like, well, I can take one class at a time, slowly walk my goal down, and in the same amount of time that same time is going to pass. Well, I found a school that did an accelerated program where classes were just 8 weeks. So it was still the equivalent of being a full-time student, even though I was taking one class at a time. So everybody would be like, you should be taking 4 classes. My advisor's like, you should be taking 2 classes, 4 classes. And I'm like, no, thank you. Needless to
right.
say, I graduate, super high GPA, 3.6 GPA. And I'm like, I was able to break that goal down. So I took that same format with my doctorate. So I'm now walking down one class at a time. And this
Mhm.
same time next year, I'll be completely done with a 3.6 GPA right now. So
Good.
yes, it. Many gurus do tell you, jump all in, don't have a plan B, all of these things. Well,
Right.
I've learned that these things work, but they aren't for everybody. So I was like, well, I'm not fortunate enough to have all of the extra time that maybe a single person may have. I have 4 children. I'm married with 4 children
Right.
with with multiple businesses with
Hmm.
employment, full-time employment. So I literally have to monitor my time at all times.
Right.
So I was like, I do have enough bandwidth for one class at a time. I, that at least that's the least I can do for myself. So I was able to walk those two goals down just one class at a time, 1 month at a time, one day at a time. So I do employ that method in my own life still to this day.
That's good because you know what? That was going to be my next question. Like, how do you balance family, your personal life, and then also like your professional life? But you just answered the question, so that makes a lot of sense. Like, break things
Yeah.
down into smaller things that
Yes.
is obtainable. So I like
Yes.
that. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree. So if y'all are busy, listen to him. He's telling y'all the truth. Like, break it down, break it down.
Break
That's
it
exactly what I
down.
had to do.
Schedule it.
Mm-hmm.
Schedule your
Yes.
life.
Yes.
Things won't just happen to you if you decide what it is. And throughout the day, I decide what I'm going to do with my day instead of at the end of the day, I did so much or I didn't do anything. That's the inconsistency
Mhm.
that most people face on a daily basis.
Yep. Exactly. Yep.
Yep.
Get a schedule, y'all. I'm telling you, it'll help. Get a planner. Start off with that. Write
Yes.
little sticky notes. I have sticky notes everywhere. I feel like Mary
Everywhere.
Jane Paul, okay? Sticky notes everywhere, all in my
Yeah.
office. Yes, get those things down, y'all.
And I
So,
write down. Yes.
oh, you
Write things
write
down.
down.
Like
Yes.
as soon as I do something, I write it down or I put a check beside it. And if I do something that I didn't even have planned, I write it down so I can go back
Mhm.
and say, oh, I accomplished something that I didn't even realize I was going to do today. So write things down. It works.
Yep. Get a journal. My mama, she all about getting a journal. She don't
Yes.
like writing anything on her phone. She got a journal of everything. So I agree.
Yeah.
I really do agree with that as well. I have about 10 journals. So, my next question is, you describe studying people's mindset. I like doing that too.
Yes.
The habits that hold you back, like when it comes to your mindset, what is the most common mindset barrier you see the most, and how can people overcome that?
The most common mindset barrier that I come in contact with on a daily basis, people tell themselves that they can't.
Come on.
I don't even think it matters when, like, people like to attribute these people said I couldn't do it. They said I couldn't do it. That doesn't even matter. What matters
Nope.
is when you believe it.
Mhm.
When you believe you can't, that's when all progression stops. So I
Yes.
believe like I've never I was a personal trainer. I'm currently a teacher. I was
Mhm.
I was always an NCO in the military, which means non-commissioned officer, which means I was always over soldiers. I never walked up face to face to a student, soldier, comrade, and told them that they couldn't. I would say, let's go run 5 miles. They would say they couldn't. I would say hey, let's take a class. We're not getting deployed anytime soon. We're not doing anything. We're sitting here at the base. Let's take a class. They would say, I can't do it. I would never
Mm,
walk up to somebody to tell them that they can't do it. And that's a very common mindset that a lot of people gotta break through that barrier because they limit themselves. They put a ceiling on
mhm.
themselves. And I see that every day.
Yes, I believe that too. For me, I always believe in like saying that I am something, that
Hmm.
I can do things or whatever. And then if it doesn't happen, that means it's not meant for me. But at least I tried.
Hmm.
Not just limiting yourself to say I can't, I won't.
Hmm.
Try it, y'all. Like y'all need to try it for real. Try
Try.
it and just do something that scares you. I always say that. Do something that scares you. So I agree.
That's that
I agree.
comfortable mindset. Yes.
Yes. Period. I agree. Okay. The next one is, you share a powerful childhood story about self discipline in your book, How to Master Self Discipline. Love that
Yes.
as well. All right. How did that incident shape your understanding of discipline as you got older?
Just living with the fact that a temporary situation could have cost me, my family, my mom dearly. It's a constant reminder. We'll talk about it. We maybe talked about it like twice in my life, which was the reason that I put it in the book. We had a conversation about it. And it's having children, it's like a constant reminder how quickly, an innocent decision could be, almost deadly or
Hmm.
detrimental. A temporary emotion can last for a lifetime for some people. So it just always taught me to be in control. I live with more than one story like that. Our family was kind of, broken up a long time ago because of a temporary situation with our grandparents. So
Mm,
sometimes I share it, but sometimes I just kind of, you know, just talk around it and it teaches me like my family is a constant reminder of how being so emotionally invested in a temporary thing can
mm,
cost so many people. Like that incident that happened in my family cost all of our siblings, all of our cousins, aunts, uncles to not grow up to meet our grandma and grandfather. So, like, I've always had those constant reminders, which you're supposed to learn from history, right? Like,
right.
you don't supposed to live in it, but you're supposed to learn from it. And it just always just constantly reminded me to even teach myself and my children, hey, these temporary things that you're fixated on, they won't last. So be stronger than temptations, be stronger than emotional, decisions and investments. So those types of stories that would generally keep a curse over your head, I think they kind of lifted me and my immediate family out of it. Me and my wife, we raise our children a certain kind of way because of the curses that we've broken together.
Mhm.
So they play a role. They're important, but it's
Right.
also important to live past those things that did happen, not live in it.
Mm, come on. I love that. That was bars, okay? You could be a rapper, period. Okay, you could be a rapper. But yeah, like I agree, like generational curses, people don't talk about that either. And how cycles keep continuing until one person be like, I don't want to live like this anymore. I want to be different.
I
So I'm
want to be.
happy that you and your wife and your family like y'all changing things for your
Yes,
children. So
yes,
I agree with that. I really do. And everybody else who's going through a generational curse, you can break it,
yes.
okay? Just by doing one thing that's different from everything else.
Just
You can break it.
different.
So yes,
Yes.
you can do it, okay? I will give you 5 seconds to send an email to navigatinghourpodcast@gmail.com in order to be a sponsor. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? And yeah, so the next question is the book, the same one, highlights the universal law of cause and effect. And the
Mm,
idea of ignorance is not an excuse. Come on,
mm.
come on. I love that.
It's
How
not.
can people better prepare themselves before starting a new journey?
I before I do anything new in life, I do research. I think
Yes.
that's one thing school has taught me. It taught me to be an excellent researcher, to dig up all old facts, artifacts, and old facts of what new thing I'm trying to embark into. And I think from the military, I learned preparation before uh, going into any new territory. Be as prepared about the atmosphere of that new situation as you can. Preparation, it's one of the main causes of failure. Lack of preparation, lack of
Hmm.
research. So I do believe researching whatever it is in life, getting around, I do believe in this as well. Getting around someone who's in that realm, even if it's for a few minutes out of the day, um, they don't need to be close to you. I've learned this. People with wealth of information, they are looking to give it to somebody. Like most of
Yeah.
these people don't even like their own siblings. Some of them, I hate to say it like this, don't even like their own children. So if you come in with a mindset of I'm willing to learn what it is you're willing to teach, many of these people that have the information, they want to give it away, but they don't want to waste their time giving it to those who won't use it. So that's a even better way to prepare for a new journey or new situation. Get around others that are doing it, and you'll be even more prepared learning from that great teacher.
Yeah. You know what? I think me and you was raised by the same mama because my mama always taught us, like me and my brother, to do research, like research the company, research everything. And I end up doing that with everything in my life. Like if I'm joining an organization, I do research on that. If I'm joining this or doing that or working that, I'm like, oh, let me do research. Let me see what's going on. And then when I get around other people and they're part of the same organization or they're part of the same job, and they say, "Oh, I didn't do research on this." I'm like, "Huh?
I never understand.
How do you not do that?" Like, especially in college, like that's all I did. I researched what like the issue was, or like if I have a question about something, I'm going on the internet, I'm typing it up, and I'm seeing what's
Yeah,
going on. So
yeah,
I agree. And then even in the workshop I taught yesterday, that's what I told the students to do. Always research the company and always research everything. Question your sources. Question everything. And yeah,
question.
just like to
Yeah.
teach them for the future. So I agree with that. Research.
It's
Goodness, people don't
it's
do no
a lack of
research.
it's it's a lack of discipline, and I attribute it to being a little bit lazy, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to, if it's something new that you don't know anything about, you have to try to gather as much information. And I loosely say that because the experience is going to be the best teacher, but the least you can do with your time, I tell people this as well. The least you can do with your free time is to invest it getting prepared for the unknown, because that's
Mm-hmm.
what's going to trip you up on your journey. The unknown is always the cause of people getting right in front of their dreams and their goals and walking away from it. So
Mm.
in life, I truly believe that with each day you're here, it's on you to prepare for the unknown, because
Right.
that's the least you can do with that 24 hours of peace you were granted. If you're experiencing peace, turmoil is going to come. The least you
Right.
can do with that peaceful time is to prepare for the unknown. That's the one thing I
Mm.
believe in.
Yeah, I agree. I really do. So you will be more prepared whenever it happens. And if it doesn't
Yes.
happen, you still be like, okay, at least I know
Yes.
beforehand, you know. So
Yes.
I agree. Okay, that's good. So based on your research, speaking of research, why do you believe that self-discipline is the determining factor between people who achieve their potential and those who don't?
Because I hate to quote him, but the great Mike Tyson says,
Mhm.
everybody has a plan until you get hit in the mouth.
Ooh,
And
wee,
that
come
hit
on
in
now.
the mouth usually changes all of your plans,
It does.
because what that hit in the mouth has come to do to see whether you wanted more or that
Mhm.
object that hit you in the mouth wanted it more. And most times in life, you're up you're up against competition in other people, but most of the time that competition is with yourself. So
Yes.
I do this little thing every morning when I work out, right?
Mhm.
I push myself past my current limit.
Okay.
Meaning, if I run a mile today, tomorrow I'm gonna try to do 2 or 3, right?
Right.
Because yesterday's limit may have been enough for yesterday, but what I'm up against today or tomorrow may require a little bit more. So
Right.
every single day I do a mental, physical, and psychological exercise, well, spiritual exercise, which I push my body mentally and spiritually to the limit probably before any one of you wake up.
Right. I believe
So
it.
whatever happens to me throughout the day, I can handle it gracefully, because just that very morning I put myself through pure hell. So you can't. I don't care
Mm-hmm.
if it's a boss or it's a friend or relationship, no matter what trial they try to bring toward me that day, I've already pushed myself to the limit that morning before they even woke up. So if I
Right.
put myself through pure hell, you'll probably die trying to put me through it. And that's one thing I tell myself every single
Yep.
morning. Like, push myself to the limit, to my limit, so that I can surpass and successfully succeed that limit when the challenge comes. So constantly pushing my limit, it allows me that opportunity.
That's good. I like that. Push yourself to your limit. I like that. That's good. Okay, so the next question is, do you have like any upcoming events or projects you're working on?
So right now I'm kind of engulfed in the upcoming basketball season.
Come on,
We
Ingo.
start. Say it again.
I said, come on, Ingo. I like that word.
So
Okay.
our season starts next weekend, actually.
Okay.
So we're gearing up here. We practice 5 o'clock in the morning, so I'm
Ooh.
I'm usually up, 4:30. So it 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 engulfs my whole day, aside from the other positions that I hold at the university. So aside from this, I'm kind of staying away from a lot of events
Mm,
up until February, March, just because I like to be where my feet are. You
okay.
know, like if
Right.
I'm doing something, I've I've told so many people no on my journey because I couldn't give them my full undivided attention.
Right.
And I don't believe in, giving you half, even though my half probably is more than somebody's full potential. I don't believe in putting my name on something that I'm not going to give my all into. So I've kind of stayed away from a few events. But if I can sneak a few in here and there, I will. But by the graces, I've been able to actually teach my book in my course that I teach at FMU. So I don't have to go outward to get that fulfillment of spreading the word of my book. My students, they love the readings, they love the stories. They say typically what I envision people saying once they read it, like, was he talking about me? Like, how does he know me? And we got to realize at some point that we're all connected in some way.
Right.
So the story, the words, the very words that we're saying have been said. There
Yes.
are, if you look in the dictionary, there's no new words in the dictionary. That we don't put new words in the dictionary every year. So we're saying something that's already been said. We're doing things that's already been done. Maybe the only thing that's changing is the technology that we're using. So I realized that, when people ask me, why did you write a book? What qualifies you to write a book? And I tell everybody, we all have a story. I just chose to write mine and publish mine. You might just tell yours on the phone every Saturday morning. I tell mine to the world, via Amazon, via, all these platforms. So we all have a story and we're all important to certain groups of people. So, I realized that when writing this book, we're all connected. And I knew it would, if you took the time to actually read it, you will be touched by it. I know this.
Mm-hmm.
I know where the source gave me this information from to write down. So I know once people read it, they'll connect with it.
I like that. Yeah, I really do agree. Because your book, from what I read, is really good, and I encourage every last one of y'all to get that book. And lastly, give yourself a shout out. Tell people where they can follow you at, where they can shop, and all of that.
So you can find me on all platforms, PhD and me. I'll also be sharing a link that has all of my stuff with it. So we can push the brand. It's not a brand geared toward just making money. It's geared toward what my logo states is make a difference and leave a legacy. So I understand that income is the outcome, but it won't come unless I touch more people. So my goal in whatever time I'm left here is to just influence and touch as many people as possible in a positive manner. So to make a difference and leave a legacy, you got to serve. So I'm a servant leader and I'm here to serve. So
Right.
thank you.
You are welcome. I want to thank you so much for coming on Navigate the Nine podcast today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I'd like to give like one or two more shout outs to
Go
my
ahead.
partner, Jaqual Camardi. We run a business called Limitless AIO, Limitless All in One. We do all inclusive things when it comes to technology. So I like the people to watch out for that as well. To my brother, Travis Pennington, we also run a small business together called Dreams. It's here in North Carolina. You guys we had an event last night. I wasn't able to attend last night. I got to apologize to him for last night. I was exhausted from a full work week, but he understands that's his realm. That's his baby. I'm just a partner in the mix. And one last business that I'm a part of, my brother Marcus DeBose, he has a brand. He has a apparel brand. Do you believe our styles exist? Which is the acronym for DeBose. We would like to get some stuff, to you guys to show. It's mainly for the fellas. Like a lot of my business are geared toward men, and it's not in disrespect to the ladies. It's actually in ultimate respect to you guys because we're trying to raise and groom young men to be real men for you guys. So that's where the PhD in me came from. Everything that we've done so far is to try to build a better character or better man for this world to see. And that's where all of this stuff is kind of gearing toward. So please take a look at those products and brands that I'm a part of.
Yes, y'all, please do that. Please do that. Because one, I love the all about the men and the young men. That is
Yes.
what's needed. That's needed
Yes.
like today. So I
That's
do
true.
appreciate that so so much. So y'all go ahead and follow him. Follow the brand. Follow the brand. So yes, I want to thank you once again, okay? Because you have been a very good person, like overall, and I just want to thank you so much.
I appreciate you saying that. That's my goal in life. Just your experience with me is always going to be that was a great person. Didn't want anything from me, just wanted the best for me. So I
Yes,
appreciate
you're welcome. And remember, yes, life was delayed, but it never gave the nod. I'm your host, Annika Lequint, and you just listened to Never Gave the Nod podcast with Lequint. Bye.
it.
Wait, where are you going? I know you're not going to deny us a subscription. Click here to subscribe and click here to watch more because we love to see you. So keep coming back. Right. Period.